Hello friends and welcome to Gdansk, a city with rich history and stunning architecture. I had the pleasure of visiting this city around 6 to 8 weeks ago. It was late winter, so probably not the best time to visit, but I still really enjoyed it. There's a lot to unpack, so let's begin. Our journey starts on the way to the Long Market, which is located right in the center of the city. The streets are lined with beautiful historic buildings, cozy cafes, and boutique shops. Basically, everything typical for a typical European city. Gdansk is usually busiest in summer, but regardless, you will find tourists here all year round. Not really sure what's going on here, but apparently the grandpa didn't like the robot too much. As you go through the Long Market, you will eventually reach the famous Neptune Fountain, which is a symbol of the city relating to its historical and maritime commercial power. It's hard to miss the fountain, as you will always see people taking pictures next to it. Passing the Neptune Fountain and taking a turn on the right, we see the famous St. Mary's Church. St. Mary's Church is one of the largest brick churches in the world. It's as impressive on the outside as it is on the inside. The church took around 159 years to build, and inside we can find the famous astronomical clock, which is around 500 years old. We then proceeded to climb 400 steps up the church tower for a breathtaking view of Gdansk and the surrounding area. Let's be honest, it probably looks better in summer. As a tip, which I later found out, this isn't the only high spot in the city. Apparently there are several buildings which offer similar view. And it connects the city to the Baltic Sea. Finally, the Havelium and Gradova Hill, which is a mixture of a park and a science center. Located on the outskirts of the city, you can climb it and enjoy the panoramic view of Gdansk. On a final note, Gdansk also has a very impressive World War II museum. It is, in my opinion, one of the most comprehensive museums dedicated to the history of World War II that I've ever seen. Maybe I'll post something about it later. I couldn't visit Gdansk without visiting the famous Malbork Castle, which is located 40 to 60 minutes from Gdansk by train. Malbork Castle is considered the biggest castle in the world. I certainly didn't expect that title to belong to a castle in Poland. Honestly, the castle is so huge, I took so much footage, that if I were to release all the footage, this video would be an hour long. Malbork Castle was built in the 13th century by the Teutonic Knights, a powerful Germanic order of knights who played a significant role in the medieval European history. The castle has a complicated history as it changed hands many times, including being part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. In many ways, this castle reminds me of the famous Trakai Castle in Lithuania, but on a much bigger scale. The entrance is pretty impressive, as you will feel yourself dragged right into the medieval times. There is a very cool audio guide as well, which is perhaps one of the best audio guides I've ever experienced. It is GPS guided, so it will tell you exactly where to go, as well as give you the freedom to explore the parts of the castle which you find more interesting. I can go on and on about the history of the castle, but basically the tour will help you somewhat experience how life was like for different inhabitants of the castle back then, from the top of the hierarchy such as kings and lords to normal peasants. Inside the castle there are countless rooms and halls where the kings and the visitors used to sit, dine, different kitchens, different bedrooms, summer halls, armory, and much more. Outside there is a huge courtyard which will take you to different parts of the castle, including the garden and the cemetery. The castle is like one giant collection of museums, a series of museums within a large museum which is the castle. If you are someone who is interested in history, particularly in the history of medieval Europe, then this place is for you. In the end, I have to say that the castle was the obvious highlight of this trip. Its size and the museum presentation are second to none, and I really enjoyed it.